Then welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. Interesting week. Interesting week with regards to transfer news and KOLBE. And there's currently a whole debacle, bit of a Layla and KOLBE versus SA Rugby Mag sort of story unfolding here, which is making a very interesting week in what is a week of non-rugby, really. The Currie Cup group stages do conclude this weekend. Top 14 entering to the final stage. Super Rugby going to playoffs as well. So it's a very interesting time of the season. It's also not a particularly busy time of the season. It's kind of the calm before the storm, isn't it? We've got international season, which will kick off next month. In fact, I think the first female game is basically a month today, or a month tomorrow, I think it is, on the 8th or whatever it is. And so we are now sort of sitting here, as I said, it's the deep breath before what is then going to be a ridiculously busy few months. But it's a very, very interesting story, this whole KOLBE rejecting a 15 million rand a year contract at the Stormers. Is there any truth in it? Is there not any truth in it? Let's sort of dive in and see exactly what's been said, shall we? Before we do that, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Right, so on the 4th of June, on Sunday the 4th of June, both a report and SA Rugby Mag ran a story that said that KOLBE had rejected a 15 million rand offer from the Stormers that would make him among the South Africa's highest paid players. So this was obviously last week was confirmed that he would be leaving Toulon, and recently this year, John Dobson had said that the Stormers can't afford to meet his expectations, and said that they were quoted a number, and this is a quote, that is probably what the GDP of Lesotho. So on Sunday, a reporter revealed the Stormers, with the help of a third party, tried to lure KOLBE back with an offer in the region of 15 million rand, which was 4 million rand more than they offered him last year, and is close to what Toulon were paying him. They said that the average Springbok playing in South Africa earns between 5 and 7 million rand. In a similar case, Evan Etzebeth took a pay cut after being released from Toulon, where he was paid 80 million rand to join the Sharks. This is according to SA Rugby Mag. However, it now appears that KOLBE will continue his career in Japan at a reported salary of 22 million rand, with Suntory Sungoliath favourites to sign it. Right, so this comes out on the 4th of June, on Sunday. And on Facebook, in the comment section, KOLBE's wife, Layla KOLBE, comes out and says it's all nonsense, and lashes out, the term used by SA Rugby Mag, not by myself, at SA Rugby Mag. And this was both in the comments, and it sent them a DM apparently. So this is what she had to say. I am so sick and tired of having to read articles of us that are sensationalized and speculation, and we have to just sit back and watch how our name gets tarnished. First it was said it's not safe for us in SA for us. Now it's this. Chesden did not say it's not safe enough in SA for us. He would have loved to go back to the Stormers. Secondly, he did not turn down no 15 million rand offer. That was not put on the table. Yes, the wife spoke out. Then apparently in a direct message to the SA Rugby magazine, she said Chesden did not turn down 15 million rand. It was not even offered. Please, I am immensely tired of watching reputable news reporters doing the most to bring down his name, especially in a World Cup year. Come on. So, now all of a sudden, SA Rugby magazine are under fire, and everybody's sort of going up and jumping in the bandwagon and saying, well, are you guys now reporting just fake news, or you're just making it up? Now, SA Rugby magazine have come out and put in a whole article where they basically refute the fact that he didn't reject the move, and saying that she is lying, which is a pretty brave stance to take. It says that, this is not on the SA Rugby magazine Hitback article, saying, well, it must be noted that Mrs. KOLBE's is directed as the story first appeared in the report. It is also a fact that SA Rugby magazine had all the details prior to the report breaking the story and chose not to publish it, which I find hard to believe. This is not a publication that tends not to publish anything, to be honest. I think we all know that they're pretty quick to pull the trigger and publish a lot of different things, and have gotten themselves into trouble in the last 12 months. It then says, as evidenced by the positive KOLBE stories featured on the, they're basically saying that they rate him, but that there's no sort of slander campaign against him, and that they're not there to try and bring him down. They said that once report ran the story, they had an obligation to share with the readers a story that was now in the public domain, and now we have a similar obligation to defend our reputation and refute Mrs. KOLBE's claim that SA Rugby magazine is part of an attempt to bring down a Springbok hero and key concept title defense. They said the facts. These are the facts, apparently, according to SLAMS Rugby magazine. The facts of the matter are as follows. In August last year, we ran a story confirming that KOLBE, this is now in inverted commas, had the chance to come home and finish his career as an icon of Western Province rugby, but he turned it down. In response to engagement from KOLBE's agents, the Stormers packaged a deal of a lifetime for the Springbok Dynamo. As reported by Netflix24, the 28-year-old was presented with a 5-year contract to the value of 55 million rand, with multiple perks, including employment of his wife. This offer included a proviso to accommodate KOLBE's wish to remain in France until January, when he and his family would qualify for French citizenship. They then said that they were reliably informed that KOLBE had agreed to the offer in principle, before he shocked the decision makers of Western Province with a sudden change of heart. It was understood that he turned down the blockbuster deal on the basis of safety and security concerns. This is now obviously last year. Now, moving to this year, it was reported that he was moving to Japan, but apparently during the time when he was told that he was going to be leaving and potentially having contract talks with Japan, his representatives engaged Western Province Rugby about the possibility of returning to Cape Town. The price was 15 million rand, 4 million rand that had previously been tabled in KOLBE services. Western Province Rugby remains in administration, but the decision makers presented the opportunity to an Irish third party who, after some consideration, agreed to stump up the money. When KOLBE's asking price was met, his representatives received the offer and later rejected the offer on behalf of the player. The reality is that this is all just being quoted from the article. The reality is that KOLBE has chosen a more lucrative opportunity in Japan, and as stated earlier, it would be unreasonable to resent him for making the most of his earning potential. However, it appears that at best, Mrs. KOLBE is grossly misinformed, and at worst, is openly lying about the negotiations that took place and the extent to which Western Province Rugby attempts to bring home one of Cape Town's favourite sons. Dun dun dun. Yeah, so you've got SA Rugby magazine versus the KOLBEs. It's a very interesting fight, isn't it? I think there's a couple of things over here. What we do know, and what I think we can surmise, is that there's definitely been offers to him. They've definitely had, that's been confirmed. John Dobson's confirmed that, there have been conversations between Ches and KOLBE and Western Province Rugby about bringing him back. That's not up for dispute. The contract offers, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, you think about 15 million rand a year. This is now, a union which currently has a 67.5 million rand salary cap. That's going to go up to about 90 or 85 or whatever it is. And then further up, that would be, we're looking at almost quarter of the salary cap on one player, which seems unlikely, doesn't it? And this is now the sort of the very big gray area that everybody's. It's kind of like the elephant in the room, isn't it? If there was a 15 million rand deal on the table, how was that going to work? Was it a case of the Stormers are going to be paying him 15 million rand, which sounds ludicrous, or is it what a lot of people are? I wouldn't say accusing, but are speculating that the Sharks might be doing a case of he's got a Stormers salary, which could be let's say 8 million rand. And that there are different third-party sort of involvements and perks and stuff like that, like this, alleged, job last year that was talked about that later KOLBE will be working for some big multinational company, type thing. So it's a lot of grey area, isn't it? And at the end of the day, unfortunately, we're not dealing with a lot of facts here. We're dealing with a lot of speculation, a lot of he said, she said, literally he said, she said. So it's an interesting situation, and I think that we're going to have a lot of these, I reckon, in the next couple of years, because I do think that with the salary cap changing a lot, with potentially more private investment coming into rugby, we'll be hoping for more private investment in rugby. It'd be interesting to see how these sort of deals and these mega deals, if these mega deals do come through, how they'll come through. For example, what is Eben Etzebeth being paid, and how is it being paid? And I think there's no doubt that he's obviously took a big pay cut, Etzebeth, but if you've seen him now in the last month, I must have seen him with at least about 4 or 5 different brands, filming adverts, obviously establishing quite a lot of partnerships. And I think there's a lot of commercial opportunities which are being sort of dangled at these players, saying, listen, you're going to come back to South Africa. We can't pay you 18 million rand, 20 million rand, like you could be paid in the top 14. However, we can arrange deals with our partners and with various commercial opportunities, which would actually make up for, what you lost, and you wouldn't end up making any less. In fact, you could even end up making more. And I think that's going to be quite a common theme, that a lot of commercial opportunities are going to be sort of touted and given to players in lieu of maybe sort of the big salary that they might be earning overseas. But it's going to be interesting to see how this sort of paves the way for when players coming back in the future, how it's all going to pan out. Are these mega deals actually on the table? Is it a lie, as Mr. Kolbe is coming out and saying? What do you think? Down in the comments below. Let me know. I want to know what your opinions are. We'll continue to monitor the situation. I just thought it'd be interesting to sort of go through exactly what's being said, who's saying what, and I suppose it's a bit of a reminder, of there has to be accountability, and at the end of the day, one of the two parties is not telling the full truth. They might be always telling certain parts of the truth. They might be leaving out specific details, but when you've got somebody saying you're lying and they're saying no, you're lying, one of them probably is. If not both of them are. If not either, but it's very unlikely that neither of them are. Well, they can't neither be lying. So, yeah, interesting though. Let me know down in the comments below. Smash like on the video. We've got a spring market announcement coming up soon, so hopefully we can get away from the tabloids, I suppose, and talk about some actual rugby news. But until then, let me know what you think about the whole situation, and we'll see you guys all very soon.